What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here to the channel, I say welcome to you. Thank you for joining us, and to all my returning viewers, a big shout out and thank you to you as well. Ooh. I wanted to make a video in the last couple days, but we've had an exceptionally high rainfall for this late in the rainy season. I mentioned that a couple times. I found out it's because of a hurricane, actually, that's affecting mainly the northern part of Cambodia up near the borders, and we are getting the after effects, I guess you could say, of that. So a lot more rain than usual for this late in the rainy season, which should be over sometime this month to next month. It should start the rain should be coming less and less, and then we'll be in that period of the dry season where everybody will complain that it's too hot and they wish they had rain. So that's how we do it here. Hey, we got critters down here. Also, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all my supporters. As always, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I love you guys, and I hope you're enjoying my weekly exclusive videos, Sunday Stuff with Dave. And if you want to receive your weekly exclusive videos that I do every week, it's real simple. You can donate down below. I have PayPal, buymeacoffee.com/DDC, or you can join my Patreon. And that way I'll have your email address and I'll add your name to the list, and you receive all my exclusive content, most of which I do not put on my public channel. Find out new things and news and updates before everybody else. So those links are down below if you want to do that, and I appreciate you. Now, I've lived here in my apartment that we just left for a few months now, and we walked around this neighborhood a bunch of times. And every time we walk by here, I notice this, I notice all the weeds and all the tall grass, and I'm always looking for different critters hiding in there. But it wasn't until about a week ago that I actually noticed there was an old empty house back there, as you can see. I never noticed that before. Probably because we never walked back there because of the gate. Whoever else lives there has a gate. But apparently, Single Eye's been asking around, just out of curiosity. I don't plan on buying a house. I don't have the money to buy a house. But out of curiosity, I always want to know, so I can give you guys the information. How much is it? How much would it be for this land right here in front, with all the way overgrown yard and that old house that's been sitting empty for a long time? Apparently what had happened was a lady that lived there committed suicide. That's what Single Eye was trying to tell me. And it's been sitting empty ever since. It's never been on the market or anything. So going to inquire and see how much it is. You never know. You might find a really good bargain. First time I noticed that there was even a house back there, though. Shows you how observant I am. Well, mainly I walk by these areas and I try to notice all the bugs and critters, because those are the things that fascinate me. Oh, by the way, I mentioned sometime that sometimes you're walking around and you can just find socks for sale if you don't have socks, which was the problem when I came here. I didn't bring any socks with me, except for the one pair I came in with all the way on my flight, which are pretty stinky by the time all that got done running through airports and stuff. And I couldn't figure out where to buy socks when I first got here. Like my first week, I went looking. I went all the way to the night market trying to find some, and then now I notice usually the things you can't find, you start noticing. Like right here. And somebody said I should show them, so here you go. They have a wide variety of different kinds of socks for sale right at this little mom and pop store. A lot of them have them. I didn't know that, of course, when I first got here, but so there's some socks. Probably be about $1 a pair, I think. Something like that. So yeah, I always tell people when they're packing, ready to move here, whenever that time comes, bring socks. just bring socks. It's amazing how much stuff I brought that I didn't need or wound up not ever wearing, and yet I didn't make room to bring more than the pair of socks that I was wearing at the time. But then again, this channel, part of this channel is having you guys learn from mistakes I make. And I do make them. We all make them. Some of us are just more willing to admit, I made a mistake. And hopefully I never get to be one of those old guys who thinks he's always right about everything all the time. But anyway, some news coming out of Phnom Penh that I want to tell you guys about. Generally, initiatives start in Cambodia in like one province. And a lot of them, if not most of them, start in Phnom Penh. With permission from the Prime Minister, Phnom Penh governor will say, I want to try this for whatever reason, you know, whatever it might be. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. If it works, other provinces might take notice of that and incorporate their own version of that initiative or rules or whatever it is. So I don't know how far this is going to spread, if it's going to spread further at all. But it's causing some discussion among the expats. And Phnom Penh now has this thing where if you want to enter any business, and it doesn't specifically say all businesses, but it says, the wording is kind of weird, you know, that translation to English, but it says schools, markets, bigger supermarkets, and other businesses. But again, it doesn't say all businesses, so that's where the confusion comes in. But if you want to enter, if you want to go into any of these establishments, you must show your proof of vaccination. You must have your proof of vaccination card and carry it with you along with your ID. And you must show it before you can go into any of these places. And of course, as always, some people are saying, that's fine, I have no problem, I'm vaccinated, here's my card, here's my ID. But of course, the people that are not fully vaccinated and don't have their cards, and for whatever reason don't have their ID, whether it's expats or locals, they're the ones that are worrying, because how can they go into a supermarket and get food? How can they go to a local market and get stuff to eat if they don't have their vaccination card? So that's where it's kind of tricky. But and like I said, I don't know if that's ever going to come to other provinces like Siem Reap. I guess it's all going to depend on how well that little experiment, I guess you can say, works there, and they'll take it from there. But maybe if one of you guys lives in Phnom Penh, you can let me know how that's working out, and if it does affect like every single business, even the little mom and pop shops, or you know, little food stalls along the side of the road, the street food stands, or if they just mean the bigger you know, sit down and eat restaurants, obviously the schools, you know, bigger supermarkets and things like that. Because sometimes the problem here isn't lack of communication. Hello? Hello? It isn't the lack of communication, it's just that, excuse me, the communication that gets out there is translated sometimes poorly from the official Khmer version to English, and it, you know, gets lost in translation sometimes. Very confusing wording, and sometimes leaving more questions than answers. But currently Siem Reap has no such restrictions. The government here is very happy, in fact, with the way things are going as far as people following mandates. The governor is always out and about checking things out. He has said there will be no more lockdowns, which is good news. I don't know if he can keep that promise explicitly, but he did say there will be no more lockdowns. However, they're very, very strict. Very, very strict on rules. And especially two rules: wearing a mask in public and not gathering with a lot of people. Those ones, he has instructed his police force, if they see it, to arrest those people immediately. No more warnings. Arrest them, and then they will each have to pay a fine starting at $50, what would be $50, all the way up to, you know, $200 or $300 for repeat violation. Now, of course, that doesn't stop. You still see people out here without a mask. Restaurants that are not authorized to have dine-in people, you see people in there eating without a mask. But more and more people are understanding that it's important. The number of localized cases has gone down, even though it's Chumben still. This is the last day of the Chumben holiday. And people have been following the rules more during this time, like going to the pagodas. They have a system in place where the monks are protected, the citizens are protected, while still being able to fulfill their religious obligations as a Buddhist. But they are going to wait to get reports back about a week after this holiday ends, so about a week from now, to see if there's any spikes in cases here, or from people that came here just for that and then went back to their home villages. And that will instruct the governor on any further action should it need to be taken. But he did say no more lockdowns, so I don't know if that means they've already extended the curfew, which has been going on for months now. That might be forever extended, from 9 p.m. until 3 a.m. That's been extended until the 18th. And of course, the prohibition of not gathering in large groups, that rule has also been extended until at least the 18th. So that's what's going on in Cambodia. I was kind of surprised to read a statistic from the Khmer Times. Vietnam has said they're not going to start allowing foreign visitors back into the country as tourists until summer of 2022 at the earliest. But I found out that they also have a very, very low vaccination rate, at least compared to Cambodia and surrounding countries. Fully vaccinated people, only about 37.2%, I think it was, of people in Vietnam are fully vaccinated. And those that have received at least one vaccination are a little bit higher. So I guess the vaccination effort here really, really helped in coming up with a plan to reopen Cambodia as safely as it can, while still protecting the people. And somebody wanted to know if that's going to, if they open it back up, you're fully vaccinated, you come here when it's available for your country, you get tested before you leave, you get tested once you get here, that's all negative. Do you still have to be a quarantine, or do you still have to go through a quarantine? And as far as I can tell right now, nothing official, this is my opinion based on what I heard, is that they're strongly considering, yes, a week quarantine, even if you meet all those requirements. But it won't be one of those quarantines where you can't leave, you can't do anything, you're stuck in your hotel room. They plan on letting people in the quarantine walk around the quarantine area, in that little district in the commune there. So you can get out, you can go to shops, you can go to, street stalls, do some walking, doing a little bit of exploring. You just won't be able to leave certain boundaries. But again, that's reduced from 2 weeks mandatory quarantine for everybody right now And there's a very strong possibility, although like I said, nothing official, but there's a very strong possibility they will go with that when they decide to open the country back up to certain countries. Probably the ones hit hardest by not only the original virus, but the variant as well. If that makes sense. So what I'm trying to say is I don't know 100% for sure. But as always with all things, as soon as I find out, as soon as there's concrete information from the government, I will let you guys know. And I think the last thing I want to talk about is that this is not a political channel. It's really not. But in these days, I guess anything you say tends to be politicized. Like, hey, the group I believe in the most says this, therefore it's got to be this way, and everybody wants to make a political point out of a pandemic. And it's and I don't do that here. I'm just telling you the news as it arrives. You can take it for what you will. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying, obviously. Nobody can make you agree, but it doesn't change the fact that those things are happening. You can read them yourself. They're in the news. So if you disagree with them, take it up with the government. I'm not arguing a certain political point. I will always follow and believe the science, despite what any government official tells me. Most government officials are no more qualified to give scientific advice, just as no athlete, no celebrity. All they can do is go by what their experts say and make decisions according to actual scientists, people who have studied this kind of thing for years and years and years. Went to school for it for years and years and years, and didn't just disagree and make a 10-minute YouTube video that people watch and they call, I did my research. Doesn't happen like that. So I will always follow the science, but I will never blindly follow the government because they say so if the science doesn't back it up. I don't wear a mask because the government tells me to. I wear a mask because it's proven to reduce your chances of getting or spreading the virus. It's very, very simple. But anyway, I just wanted to make that point. Whether you want to come to Cambodia or not is not a political issue. It's a choice of yours. But there are certain things that are going to be required in this new normal, as they put it, that you'll either have to accept or don't accept. I believe also Australia isn't going to allow international tourism until at least 2022 as well. If I read that right. I know I have a lot of people from Australia watching, so let me know if that was correct. I know their name was thrown in that article somewhere about when tourism's going to be back open in different countries. But I'm not sure if I got it right. Alright. Well, that's it for that one. Obviously it's going to rain again because that's what it does here. Thanks to that typhoon. And go home, maybe watch a couple TV shows on the old USB stick. People have been giving me suggestions, so I got some series in the lineup that I'm going to be getting really soon. Squid Games, that Korean horror drama, I guess you could call it. Somebody recommended that. I'll give that a watch. Somebody else recommended Boardwalk Empire from HBO. I've heard about both of those. I've never seen any episodes from either, but I'm always willing to give it a watch. So thank you for those recommendations. Alright, and don't forget to check out all my links down below. Like I said, if you want to join the family and receive exclusive weekly updates, videos, and more, down below are links to my PayPal, buymeacoffee.com/DDC. And of course, you can join my Patreon. And you'll be put on the list. You'll receive those every single week. Also down below are links to other channels that are vlogging from Cambodia. Very good channels, full of information, good stuff. Check all those out. It's a pretty long list, but they're all worth your time, I think. All my social media is down below, so check that out as well. And some other stuff you might be interested in. All right. That'll do it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that already, and share this on social media with all your friends, families, enemies, neighbors, people you vaguely know, people you don't know at all. It all helps the algorithm make my videos more discoverable to other people. So thank you guys. I love you guys. I hope you all stay safe. I'll talk to you in the next one.